welcome back to the 5 O'Clock Sweats podcast. As always, for the first time in 84 years, we have the full crew back. We have both of my handsome friends. Introduce yourselves, boys. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah. I'm the space cadet, Derick.
And I'm Chris.
All right. And today...
the weapons master. That would have been better. Pretend I said that. Keep going.
Okay, cool. We'll edit that in. So, we are back. The three amigos. We are back. And today, we're going to have a robust discussion about some of our favorite weapons in video games.
You really got to hit the rest of that sentence quick, huh? We're going to be talking about our favorite weapons.
Ellipses. In video games. There are quite a few.
In video games. Oh.
There are quite a few weapons that we've had the pleasure of using over the years of our gaming careers. And
I don't know why using feels wrong there. It feels dirty.
I mean, how else would you say it?
I mean, you're right.
I mean, we are using these weapons to mow down our enemies. All of them
feel right. It's a mouth feel. I don't know.
Mouth.
Just me.
How are you using your gun? All right. Anyway, so we are going to be talking about weapons of all kinds today. And we have a list here. Now, I will admit that there are multiple weapons from
correct
multiple games. Some games have more weapons on this list than others because there's just so many cool guns and other gadgets and toys you can use in these games. But I'm gonna start off with maybe a curveball here. Not really, if you know me, but I'm going to talk about some of my favorite weapons from Apex Legends because it's been a hot minute.
You zagged on me there. I for sure thought you were going Halo.
You thought I was going to zig, but I zagged?
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen with me. I'm a wild card. Anyway, we've all had the pleasure of playing Apex Legends. And I would say it has a pretty healthy arsenal of weapons to choose from.
Yeah.
All sorts of different kinds. Yeah. So I have a couple here that really stand out. Guns that I just love using. Like when I have a chance to use these things, I'm going for it. Like the game's going to be a lot more fun when I have these in my hands. So I'm going to start off with probably my favorite one. Yeah, it's close. But the R301 assault rifle.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yep. I was hoping that'd be on your list.
Oh, it's that.
That's my favorite gun.
Yeah, it's on there. Admittedly, it's one of my favorite guns because I think it's one of the easiest guns to use in the game. It is a laser beam assault rifle that can just do a ton of damage. It's gone through a couple of nerfs here and there. I don't really think it's been buffed. It kind of has just been like the weapon that's been touched the least in Apex Legends like life cycle. I feel like it's like in the perfect spot. I think they upped the recoil at one point in one of the earlier seasons. A little more maybe horizontal recoil, but honestly, like you can still laser people with that pretty easily. But yeah, it's just such a satisfying gun to use. When you line up a good shot and you just lay down the trigger and you hit those hit markers, those Apex hit markers, just with the shields cracking, it's so satisfying. There's a couple of guns on this list that have that same effect, but yeah, the R301 for me, and why I love it so much is because it's so versatile. You can use it.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, like mid range, close range, even far range.
I think too.
A little bit.
I haven't played Apex in a while, but did they get rid of the Evo shields?
They did. Yeah. Well, sort of. Yeah. They added a new shielding system where it's like you level up
your shield.
Yeah. But they did get rid of like shields on the map, I think.
Okay. So I remember the R3 being like really good for like the Evo shields because you could just do like a ton of damage even from distance. You just like, you know what I mean? You're just like peppering
Melting.
people, just breaking their shields. And I think the best attachment, at least in terms of sights, I remember liking the bruiser on the R3.
Oh yeah,
I always felt
Yeah.
like that was that's like a what is it, like a 2 times?
it's the 2x. Yeah, it's the 2x scope with like the little thing in the middle.
It's like an upward pointing arrow, kind of like an ACOG sight, but hence I guess the name, bruiser is, well, because that thing beams. And
Yeah.
I always felt like the reticle was good because you could actually like aim center mass, and then like the reticle would kind of like rise, and the recoil would take you up to like their head for headshots. So I always felt like it was just like the perfect sight. And I never liked what is it? What's the 3 times optic?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't like that. And then
That's
there was
too
like
weird.
there was
It's
an
too
H.
zoomed in.
Was it an HCOG?
There's the red dot, and then there's the circle sight.
Yeah, I don't like the circle sight, but there was
there's
another.
the
Circle one's disgusting.
The 1x2, right?
No,
where you can
there's
zoom
another
in.
one that's even like more. I just my point is I felt like Apex always had like discrepancies with like the sights, like the magnification. Like I felt like the dot was pretty good, but then there, like without the bruiser, like everything kind of felt. Yeah, it was like the 3 times with the circle in the middle or something, and that one always just felt weird to me. I didn't like the reticle, and it felt like too zoomed in. So the R3 to me felt best with the bruiser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's why I never use anything like 3 or above on an assault rifle. Like even in other games, even if it's good, I'm like, no, it doesn't feel right using anything above 2. I feel like
Too
2
zoomed
is
in.
the sweet point.
Yep.
Yeah, I went through a phase where I actually was using the 3 times on the R3 one a little bit. This was a while ago. I was when I was really on my grind, and I was watching streamers use it. I was like, oh, maybe this ain't so bad. And I was having a little bit of success, but at the end of the day, the bruiser is just the perfect scope. It's not too zoomed in, it's not too zoomed out. It's just the perfect, and it's so clean, and you can see your target clearly. But my second favorite is actually the circle sight, the circle HCOG sight.
Oh, okay. I think that's
like that?
poop.
All right, well, fine. I didn't
Just
ask
saying.
I didn't ask your opinion, dude. All right.
Wow, man.
Another gun on this list besides the R301, another R weapon, the R99, or better known as the R99. The most popular SMG for a long time in Apex's life cycle. This gun also is very satisfying to use when you're just hitting your shots. That same kind of satisfying hit marker sound. Close up, it just shreds shields. It's so fun to use. It's got good hip fire as well. Unlike the R301, it doesn't have as much versatility. From mid range, you got to kind of pulse your shots a little bit, unless you're just incredibly great at recoil control, which I'm not. I remember when I first started playing Apex, I did not like this gun. I was bad. But Chris, I remember you and like Kevin and everyone loving the R99. You're like, you got to use the R99.
So what I liked about the R99, and I still do, is like when I play on mouse, it's like the best hip fire SMG. It just like that thing is just a beam. Now, of course,
like a dragon,
with its rate of fire, like if you miss shots, it's like it's one of those guns where you can for sure one clip somebody, but like you really have to be on target. But it is, at least the last time I played Apex, the recoil pattern is pretty much like just a straight. You just have to straight pull down.
Yeah.
So it's not really that hard, and when you can just kind of like lay into somebody, I just like the red dot on that thing, and I just let it sing. And I know they've changed it a lot. There's been a lot of balancing done to that gun over the years. I don't even remember. I feel like at the beginning it was probably like very, very low recoil. And I think it was like 2 meta. I don't know now, but I know that I think they've added some recoil to it.
They've tweaked it.
Have they changed any of the attachments that you can put on it, or you can still get like a muzzle for it? And
they added like a laser sight for SMGs.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Over the last couple seasons. So they reduced the hip fire spread, or they increased the hip fire spread without the laser to incentivize you to get the laser.
Yeah.
And they've also tweaked the damage output of the R9 by like a point here and there, either down or up. And they've also reduced the mag size.
That's what it was. Okay.
Like an R9 without a mag, or even just a white mag, is basically useless. It's so frustrating. Like you need a blue at least to beam somebody in one clip at least.
But the reload on it's so quick.
It is. That's true.
And like with the time to kill in the fights, the gunfights in Apex, I mean, it's kind of rare to get like one clipped. You can just maneuver a reload and like it just dumps. The DPS is through the roof. And
it was such an advantage for controller players because of that aim assist.
Yeah, that too. I think it goes both ways because, like I said, hipfire was really pretty elite on mouse. I don't know, what it's like anymore, but
I don't know.
back in our heyday, our glory days.
But yeah, I love the R99. I got 2 more Apex guns on here, and I think you're both going to agree with these. Me picking these as well. Arguably, my favorite shotgun in any game ever is the Peacekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this gun is so cool. It's just, I love the look of it. I love the sound it makes when it shoots. I love loading up the shot when you aim down sights. You can just get that choke on it, and it just it reduces the spread.
Just go ahead and choke
Derick,
it.
You look like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Just choke it.
I'm here.
He's like, I'm just talking
about choking. Okay,
just want to hold it and choke it.
I love loading up.
This is a normal conversation.
Putting that big Peacekeeper between my fingers and just choking up on it.
I will agree.
Unloading on someone's face.
The PK, there is something about like them like sliding in on somebody, like in Apex, how fast you can just slide down like a hill or something, and just like jump shotting with like a headshot with the PK.
Oh yeah,
it is satisfying. I will admit. It is also, though, as most shotguns can be, and we'll talk about another shotgun that's near and dear in a little while, but I feel like there's a ton of inconsistency with the PK, or at least there was. And again, is it servers? Is it hit reg? I don't know, but sometimes that thing is like an absolute beam, and then other times you're just whiffing, and I don't know, or you hit for like some randomly low number.
Yeah, I feel like that's
hitting it for 8.
Yeah,
that's exactly. That's literally the number. That's literally the exact number you would hit someone for, like point blank. Yeah, that's been a shotgun problem in Apex for forever. Season 0, the Peacekeeper was incredibly overpowered. Like Peacekeeper and Wingman were just like that was the meta back in the day. Man, the Wingman.
Fuck. Nah, it doesn't make it on the list.
It should be on the list. I don't want to distract. Yeah, I don't want to distract from the Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper, just it's so satisfying to use. Again, just like as you said, sliding down, aiming down your sights. You hear that. That's a bad impression, but then once it like is completely condensed to the shot and you just shoot, it's so nice. You get that shield crack. Oh man. So good.
Good times.
And that gun is that gun out of all the guns has gone through the most changes in Apex's life cycle. Like
I'd believe it.
Damage, mostly just damage. Damage and like the bullet spread and whatnot. Like they've toyed with that like every season. It was actually in the most recent season or 2 seasons ago, it was like back to kind of what it was in season 0.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I played a little bit of that season. I was like, oh man, the PK's back, baby. We're throwing it back. But unfortunately, I'd not played for so long that my shots were awful. So I was not hitting anything.
Like, I know exactly why I'm hitting for 8.
All right, last Apex gun. And I'll admit, I am god-awful with this gun. I almost don't pick it up because I know I'm just a detriment to my team.
Ooh,
but goddamn, this gun is fun. It's when you hit your shots, and for me, it's few and far in between. But when you hit the shots, when you down somebody with a headshot, and you know where I'm going with this, the Kraber, the Kraber.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm like, what fucking gun is he talking about?
This might be Apex's most iconic gun. I feel like there's not really a sniper like it in other games, especially in a game like Apex where, you know, the time to kill is so long. The ability to just headshot somebody and instantly down them is just crazy. It's such an advantage if you have someone that can actually use it, unlike me. And it's so hard to use in controller because there's no aim assist when you aim down sights on this thing. And I hate the sight.
Yeah, the sight is trash, but I will say, I love when I'm playing on mouse. I love using the Kraber. You're just clicking on heads. It's so satisfying. It is also like, it's a frustrating gun to use though, because sometimes you'll think you hit a headshot and it'll just be a whiff, but then the rate of fire obviously is slow. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like when you have that gun that you need to at least come out of that with 2 kills.
Yeah, which is why I don't pick it up.
Same. I had to look up what the sight looked like because I pick it up so infrequently.
It's not that bad, but it's not ideal.
It's better on
it's
mouse and key. Because I'm used to the aim assist, so when it's not sticking to anybody, I'm like, my thumbs are shaking. I'm like, oh god, what am I doing? Got to really lead. You feel like an actual sniper when you use that gun though, because you got to lead your shot. Yes. The bullet's kind of slow to get there.
It's got a good bit of drop for sure.
You got to like get the wind speed. You got to do a little that. Get the wind reading.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Tuesday.
Jesus.
That went over my
fucking
head.
brain rot, dude. Sorry.
But Chris, I'm pretty sure I've played with you before, and when you pick up the Kraber, you'll be on controller, but you'll switch to mouse and key, like mid-game. I'm pretty sure you've done that before.
Yeah, you know, I was predominantly playing Apex once I got a PC on mouse. I don't know though. It's one of those frustrating games. I don't know if I can go back.
When I get back on the grind, I'm dragging you with me.
It was so good without going off on a tangent. It was so good when it first came out, and then now that we're like 5 years in, people are just so damn good. Like, you know what I mean? I'll go 6-7 months without playing, and there's people that aren't taking any days off. So,
well, they're adding a solos mode
that could be fun.
Years of people begging for one.
Could be fun, but all right. Is that our list for Apex Schmedgens?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think I want to hit on a couple weapons here. They are all from the same game series, but each of them has a very unique feel. And we're going to talk about some of the Gears of War weapons. What I love about Gears of War is obviously the weapons are entirely fictional. They are in Apex as well, but you can see the Apex guns are based somewhat off of real weapons to some degree. Gears of War doesn't play by those rules whatsoever.
No way.
So I think without it wouldn't be a list of top weapons without recognizing the Lancer. I think, and we're not talking about the fucking retro Lancer here. All right, we're talking about the OG Lancer. And this is one of those guns too where I think visually, like, the silhouette is iconic. Like, you could show me the outline of that gun. I understand there's a chainsaw. That's a pretty dead giveaway. But aside from that, I could still, quickly identify what that gun is. Now, in a lot of the games, the Lancer feels very different. In the early games, the Lancer feels like an absolute pea shooter. Aside from the chainsaw, which is the most iconic feature of the gun. I mean, what other gun in any game has a fucking chainsaw attached to it? And the chainsaw kills were so OP where you would be like 5 feet away and you would just get automatically like stuck to the
magnetized.
Yeah, I would just like sit around corners and do that, and it's like the cheapest kill ever. But I mean, that just takes it to a next level. Having an actual chainsaw, so you have close quarters, and then of course it's a good like medium range gun. Later in the games, like probably like years 3, 4, and 5. The Lancer became more viable, even just in regular multiplayer, because you can actually shoot people for a bit and then actually down them. I just don't remember ever doing that in Gears 1. Like,
no, it was really difficult.
Yeah, it just it wouldn't do anything. But so the Lancer is obviously iconic. I can't think of a more badass assault rifle, so to speak.
Dude, just the revving of the chainsaw sound. I can hear it in my head right now.
Yeah.
I can hear it. It just sounds different than any other chainsaw.
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds cooler.
I think it started in Gears 2 or maybe 3 where you could like get into a chainsaw duel.
Oh yeah.
Like you could both, like if you both walked up to each other with the chainsaws, you would just start, and it was like, I think you were just
sparks are flying.
Yeah, you're mashing B or something like that.
Destroying your B button. Absolutely annihilating it.
Yeah, it was broken OP with the chainsaw, but it's just an iconic gun. It is the gun of Gears. But speaking of Gears, another one I think we can all agree is iconic, and these are all going to be like part of the basic like OG arsenal is the Gnasher. So that is the best shotgun, and much like the Lancer, the Gnasher throughout the games has felt very different from game to game. In early Gears, it had like very little range, but was highly deadly, obviously point blank. And that was the move, right? You would just kind of like basically corner peek, and then like just you either shoot around the corner or you just like slide into them and, basically explode them with a shotgun. And I think that was pretty iconic. We had it was a lot of, I think the Gnasher was the most used gun, at least for me.
Oh my God. Yeah. It wasn't even close.
Because it was a potential one shot, especially those headshots. Oh, so satisfying.
Yeah.
And it varied in different games. Some games favored hip firing the Gnasher. Others started to favor ADSing the Gnasher to get a tighter spread there. So the use of the Gnasher kind of changed, like the mechanics, but it's always been, especially for me, like the go-to gun. Like I think everyone, as soon as the round starts, swaps right over to the Gnasher.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially in Gears 1. Like, it's all Gnashers. That's all it is. Yeah, just the feeling of like spinning around and then just like one-shotting someone like that. Someone like you hear a chainsaw behind you approaching you, and you turn around, you just zoom around, do a 180, and then just pop someone, just one shot, and they just explode everywhere.
Yeah, it was like an automatic, just like, limbs were flying. That wasn't like get a hit marker kind of gun. Limbs were flying. But I don't know if you guys remember too. I think this is what makes it so iconic. But the host shoddy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
God. Yeah, it was OP.
So for anyone that doesn't know, anyone listening or watching, the host shoddy is I think we're dating ourselves pretty hard
phenomenon.
Here. Yeah, this is like early internet gaming. It feels like, but.
Yep.
So private matches, if you're playing with friends, right, there was naturally a host, and their connection was what was being used. So I believe the hit reg was a little bit faster, and things were just better connection wise. Yeah. And so the host's shotgun was always like dominant.
Their shots would register first before yours every time, and
you would just get absolutely just botched. It was bullshit. But it was also like, I don't know, like that would trigger me nowadays. But like back then, we were just so happy to be like playing that game. I couldn't care less.
True.
But we had a friend, Chris, that was always host. Every time. Reason. Just had to be host. Oh, you join a game. Oh, look, he's host again. I wonder why. Oh, he's the top of the leaderboard. I wonder why. Oh, he wins every single one-on-one that I go against him. And then I wonder why. Asshole. You know who you are out there.
Well, speaking of 1v1s, that was a huge thing. That's how we settled like all of our high school beef. Like, yo, we're about to do a 1v1 in Gears.
1v1
and like 12 people in an Xbox party just like cursing at each other. But the prime 1v1 gun was, of course, the Longshot, the sniper rifle.
Sir.
And we got into like a huge phase of no scoping. Like, so you were kind of considered like you were a total bitch if you ADS'd and then clicked the right stick to zoom in even more. Like that was bitch mode. Now you were a little bit of a bitch if you still ADS, because if anyone knows Gears, when you aim down sight with a sniper, it doesn't zoom in on the sight. It does give you like a reticle and it does zoom in a bit, but it doesn't go through the sniper scope. When you click right stick, that's when you go through sniper scope, but that's bitch mode. So essentially, using your left trigger in any way was considered being, like a bitch. And so we had a lot of no scope battles, and there is nothing more satisfying in any game I've ever played in my life than a headshot in Gears of War with the long shot. Nothing.
Oh yeah, like like I said, I heard the chainsaw sound. I hear the popping of the head.
Yeah,
in Gears.
And it would be like quick because you know with the cover system, you'd be behind cover, you'd peek over, shoot, and then it would just be like you would just see in the distance just blood. You know what I mean? Just the head splash.
And then just round over.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah. Dude, but the no-scope battles, like using the cover system, and you would be like shooting over your head. So funny.
Dude, and then I just remember like being on the other end of that, like being the one that got headshot. It's actually kind of scary because you're just like walking or you peek for a second and all of a sudden it's just your body without a head. And then it just drops to the ground. Like, it's so fast.
It's so sudden. It's like a bolt of lightning. Yeah.
Oh, good time. So I would put those up there. And then, of course, I think, you know, we have to talk about probably the most unique gun that I've seen in a game, and definitely the most unique gun in Gears, which would be the Hammer of Dawn. And I don't know if I kind of feel like this gun was like such a low skill gun compared to like a torque bow, for example. But for anyone that doesn't know, the Hammer of Dawn is literally a tiny ass gun that has a laser and you aim it somewhere on the ground and a giant beam of just like, what is it? Just like sunlight, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? It's just
fiery death.
Yeah, a giant ray beam, something comes from the sky, and anything that's in that obviously just implodes. But you can also move the aim of the beam, but it has like a limited charge. But there was something fun about that. You could take out like 3 or 4 people at once.
Such a badass gun. And I thought it was like relatively balanced because of the charge up time. Like it had a pretty significant charge up time.
Yeah.
And yeah, you had to really choose your spots to use it.
And it was also very slow tracking wise. Like when you're moving the beam, like you could easily escape it. But if you could catch like 2 guys on cover that were like in a fight, man, oh my God.
It's so cool.
You just send them to the shadow realm.
It's just such a cool concept for a gun. Like
it's amazing.
Beam from space.
Dude, this makes me want to play Gears really bad.
Well, you say that, but then you don't want to because you go and play it. It doesn't feel like it did. It needs to stay, in my opinion, in 2008, 9, and 10. It just needs to stay there. And I'd rather remember it that way than play it more and ruin it.
Yeah, I guess to the day of recording, I got violated by a long shot 1 month ago. And I'm still thinking about it.
Where was this? Were you actually playing?
Yeah, Chris, we didn't tell you.
Or was that the LAN? Did you break out Gears at the LAN?
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the night.
Which one?
Gears 1.
That is...
You have to listen to the episode. We'll have to send you the clip from that episode, but man, it took us like
episode 45.
Yes. Soon to be. Well, yeah, you guys have already seen that by the time you're seeing this. But anyway, it took us like an hour to figure out how to play with each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it has an actual local option, right?
You would think.
Yeah, you would think it wasn't working properly.
I'm not surprised about that.
We had to do Xbox Live private matches.
Okay, I mean that's fair. I think it's a remastered version, so I don't even know like if it can do. It probably can't do local.
No, we were playing the OG. We were playing like the original 360 version.
We were not alone. Which was the most unbelievable part about it.
Yeah, we had some people joining. It was pretty nuts.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
they were cracked. They had not stopped playing since 2007.
Yeah, that man has not put his long shot down in
14
years.
Excuse me, sir. Put your long shot away.
He's been stroking his long shot for the last however years.
Sir, this is an Applebee's. Please put your long shot away.
God.
Is
that it for Gears? I wrote another weapon in there, but we don't have to talk about it.
That's it. Because you know what's going to happen is then I'm going to go off naming every Gears weapon, and we don't need that.
I got it. All right.
Yes, sir. I don't really have a ton of things from like different franchises. I've got a pretty disparate list. It looks like I should probably skip the first two things, given your zag at the beginning of the episode. So I'll start out with my first non-Halo weapon.
What?
Which is the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts.
That sounds so much cooler than what I called it.
has to be like the iconic weapon from that series. Like it's obviously that, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
I grew up playing RPGs, and naturally, Kingdom Hearts one of the best to ever put on the uniform there.
What?
Keyblade.
I'll be honest. I've played very limited amounts of Kingdom Hearts, and I don't remember it enough to talk about it. But I wanted to ask you, combat-wise, what is the key like? Is it slashing, or are there different attacks?
Yeah, it's basically just a sword. Mechanically, like all the animations, it's just a sword.
I swear there was like some like spinning thing because it has like a giant hole where you can like put your arm in and like I don't know, do some like spinning animation. Maybe not. Maybe I made that up.
I'm sure he's got some like flare animations.
Yeah.
And like sure, some attacks like you can throw it like a boomerang, but like it is still a sword.
Oh, whoa! You left that out. You could throw the key like a boomerang.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, and you get it from Mickey. Or no. You try to. Mickey has one too.
Mickey has a Keyblade?
Bro,
Yeah,
I always knew.
Hey, that's King Mickey to you.
I
King
always
Mickey has
knew.
one.
I knew Mickey was an
Mickey.
arms dealer. I just knew that.
Yeah, legitimately in the first game, you're like, oh look, it's my good friend Mickey. That's what you're saying. It's a player, and then he has like this fucking black robe on and like goes into the shadows. You're like, what the fuck is he into?
Who is this Mickey?
And he's
out with a sword.
mysterious for like 3 games, and then that's when the lore starts going all sorts of sideways. So I never really caught up with it. But
Dude, Mickey definitely has a burner phone.
Meet me in the parking garage.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Yeah, the Keyblade. I know this is going to be pretty limited. Y'all don't play the shit that I played.
Hey, we need a different perspective. You know, we just have like guns. We need a Keyblade in there.
Okay, you ready for my lateral thinking one for a game that I've never played?
I would love to
think
hear
you
it.
might have a better connection to.
We'll see.
The greatest weapon on my list is Pablo Sanchez, the character from Backyard Baseball.
Greatest.
The greatest weapon on my list. Am I wrong?
No.
Dude, Pablo's the GOAT. God, I want to play that. Holy shit, I want to play that.
Cheat code. Pablo was on steroids for sure. Pablo was juicing. Somehow didn't show it, but you know he was juicing. That kid was on the roids.
Pablo Sanchez, nickname Secret Weapon, birthday August 18th. Oh boy, I haven't read this bio. Okay.
Bro,
Pablo does not speak any English, it seems, but he knows the language of baseball and he knows it well. Simply put, this kid is good.
the hat, dude. The hat was always so iconic.
I mean, that's badass.
Dude, look at his ratings though. He's a
4.434.
He's a 4-ball in batting and running and fielding. He's just a little lackluster in pitching.
Man, because he's got a cannon, dude.
He's not a two-way pitcher. He's not a two-way player. He's no Shohei Ohtani.
Bro, I cannot believe that this game has not been brought back in some form, or maybe it has, and I just don't know.
No, I think we would know.
Oh my God,
we would know.
Yeah,
dude, this was back when you had to put like a disc in your computer to play a game.
Do you remember that? I haven't had a disk drive in my computer since like 2011.
Man.
All right, can I just say something hilarious? So
I wish you would.
I'm on the Google right now, and the first word I type is wheelchair, and it says the first search is wheelchair kid from Backyard Baseball.
It knows, man.
Exactly.
It just warms my heart knowing that there are millions of people that are Google searching that so much that it comes up. It's the first recommendation.
Bro, Kenny Kawaguchi.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Nickname, K-Man.
Anyway, best weapon is Pablo.
Yeah, I think I will stand firmly by that.
I like that.
That's a viable call out right there. I respect it. That was lateral thinking. You did think laterally right there. I like that.
Yeah, that totally
got
made a
some,
lot of sense. How you got that?
I don't know that a hat fits on your head because of your big brain.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I think real quick, before I know where is going to go here. Excuse me, Ryan. I know where Ryan's going to go here. And I just want to throw out a few before we go into that, because that's going to be about 35 minutes of our life taken up.
I'll burn through mine after yours.
Yeah. So real quick, I just want to touch on a few iconic Call of Duty weapons. Number one, obviously, being the ray gun, if you're a Zombies fan, or even if you're not a Zombies fan, because COD thinks nowadays that we're going to put the ray gun into freaking Warzone. So just saying,
weird.
Everyone knows what the Warzone is. What the ray gun is. It's again,
right in the name.
Like most of these guns, though, I think the original version of them, of this ray gun, is the best. Like the OG Zombies ray gun. You could actually, I think it's happened to me a few times, you can down yourself with the ray gun if you get a little bit, because it does have kind of like splash damage. Yeah. So I learned that the hard way a few times. Actually, I don't know. I still haven't really learned that lesson. But yeah, everyone knows the ray gun. You open the mystery box. It's the only damn thing that you want. And you want everyone to get the ray guns. And then you can just grind zombies for 4 hours until your mom calls you down for dinner. And you're like, gosh, Mom.
Mom,
we're
can
in
I
the
eat
middle
upstairs?
Of zombies.
Can I bring my dinner upstairs, Mom?
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
You have to spend time with the family. I don't know why she sounds like that, but
because your mom's
my mom's
apparently
an old-timey prospector.
She aged 40 years.
My mom's an old Western saloon owner.
Hey, Sonny.
Hey, speaking of saloon,
the usual?
Speaking of saloon, the last COD gun that I'm going to reference is Modern Warfare 2. This is circa 2008.
That sounds right.
9, I think 9.
9? Shit. 2009. Oh, yeah, sorry. World at War was 8. Modern Warfare 2, 2009. The OG Akimbo model 1887s. If anyone doesn't know, those are the, you get 2 lever action shotguns as an elite operator. We are using weapons from basically Red Dead Redemption 2. And they had like ungodly range. And there was a sick animation where every time you shot them, to hit the lever, you kind of like flipped them around. And
so fucking
and then the
sick.
running animation was just like 2 shotguns going like this. And you're like the best.
They were so broken.
Well, the whole reason they were broken is the range. Like the damage made sense, but why are you shooting across the map with those things? Akimbo too. You're not even aiming. So
Call of Duty always has something broken with the Akimbo weapons every single time
because they don't change the balance. They just multiply the same gun twice. So it's not like they balance it to be Akimbo. They just make it 2 of them.
I mean, like, in reality, like, you're using 1 arm to shoot a gun as opposed to 2 arms to shoot 1 gun. I mean, how strong are you?
Well, you're an elite operator. I mean, if you can run like this with them, like who runs with shotguns pointing straight up to the sky like this?
No, I probably would if I had some. If I was in war, that's how I would run around.
So
like an idiot.
Those are our COD guns. You have the ray gun and the Akimbo model 1887s. Obviously, there's plenty of other guns, but to me, I think if I had to think of COD weapons that were, again, the most iconic, people still talk about those Akimbos. They're back in the game now, but they're not nearly as good. But I mean, this is 15 years later and we're still talking about them. So
yeah, they left an impression. And then we'd use them at the LANs too. Like, you were an asshole if you used those at the LAN parties back in the day.
Hopped up on Mountain Dew using Akimbos.
Just sprinting around the map.
That's what COD was made for, dude. To be like 14, like freaking out on Mountain Dew and just...
Yeah, you're a sniper out of, like, shooting out of a window. You like got like the top of your head peeking in your scope, and you're like trying to line up a shot. And all of a sudden, this idiot from like 100 yards away, and just you're dead. Did you like? Do you even know what you're shooting at? Did you just randomly shoot the building?
Dude, the best. Oh.
All right. Well, you know what I'm about to do, and I'm about to unleash
I want to
some
burn
goodness.
all mine first.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Right. All right. So we're gonna move quick here. This will be my personal lightning round. Ask any random person on the street to guess what a sword from Final Fantasy series looked like. They would probably come up with the Buster Sword, Cloud Sword from Final Fantasy VII. Very iconic sword. It's on basically every piece of promotional art for anything Final Fantasy VII related, remasters, all that. I took a picture with a replica of one of these in high school, and I look like an absolute fucking nerd. I hope that picture never sees the light of day.
No, we got to put it. We got to put it. Listen, we got to put it right.
I hope it's the thumbnail for this episode.
Right here.
This uninterrupted. It's been up there the whole time.
This is going to be where it is, right here.
That's a lot. There's a good. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's a good amount of space right there too.
All right, if I can find it, I'll put it there. Next is the one that I've probably had the most time with out of everything on my list, which is the AWP from Counter-Strike.
Is that the sniper?
That's the big boy sniper.
Yeah.
In my opinion, this is like the prototypical sniper in any shooter video game. I guess it's not really fair to compare it to the AWP in Valorant, because Valorant is basically like a reflavored CSGO. But getting one shot to the body or the head, great. Legging someone, you still know that you've got a huge advantage going into whatever fight you're going into.
Isn't that's a bolt action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do most people ADS that or just hip fire it?
ADS,
well, you know what I mean, hip fire, like.
Yeah. It's almost exclusively ADS. Like, the hip firing is so inaccurate that like it's fluky at best. But like, you'll see pros do it all the time, and I've got to believe that it's just, you know, law of large numbers. They try it so much they have to succeed sometime.
Hit some shots, yeah.
Favorite one in that one. I've also got the home run bat from Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, that's a good one.
And it's got like the perfect sound effect too, which I'm pretty sure you can clearly hear in everything or everything everywhere all at once, same time.
Oh my God.
Wow, I like that promotion.
I love that movie. That's what it sounds like when Chris hits a home run with medals and MLB The Show.
Just like a shotgun went off.
Some that we talked about right before the record. We've got the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda. Pretty fucking iconic, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Especially like paired with the mirror shield or whatever the shield was that he's got. The blue Hylian one, right? Anyway, the Blades of Chaos and the Leviathan axe, both from God of War.
Oh yeah, I've never played because none of my friends have ever bought me a PlayStation, so I've not been able to play it.
Yeah,
don't look at me like that.
It sounds good. I know what they look like, and I know what game they're from. Nobody's bought me a PlayStation, so
I'm working my way there.
All right, you got it on record. He's working his way there.
No, I mean I'm working my way to God of War.
Oh, okay.
I'm not buying Chris a fucking PlayStation.
Wow,
that's so different.
I will contribute.
Than the thing I thought, dude.
I will contribute a sum of money to the Chris PlayStation fund, but what have you done for me to warrant me dropping like $500 on a PlayStation for you?
All right, we'll have a whole episode dedicated to what I've done for Ryan to justify him buying me a PS5.
All right, it'll be the shortest episode of all time.
Nah, we'll need a 2-part for this.
I think you guys got to settle this in a long shot 1v1.
If we can even get it running.
I'm host. Give me host, baby.
All right, just a few more here. The portal gun from Portal. Pretty self-explanatory there. The hidden blades, is that what they're called? The Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, there's just something about like being up on a roof with like just a cape and like two guys are down there just speaking French and you're like no idea what they're saying, but you just drop down and you just like
you get 2 for 1.
Yeah. Or you just walk up behind someone and you're just like, oh, so satisfying.
Is that the sound you make when you? He has a little orgasm.
No.
Little. It's huge, man. What? Anyway, the staff from Sly Cooper, the wrench from Ratchet and Clank, Valentine, which is the little snake sword that Ivy had in Soul Calibur. Those are a few of them. But I think my favorite one, again, lateral thinking, the actual physical gun controllers from Time Splitters in the arcade.
Yes, that's goated.
Holy shit. I was so bad at Time Splitters. I'm still bad at Time Splitters.
Dude.
But just fucking picking up those shitty plastic guns.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I have to say this. Time Splitter 2 on GameCube, way ahead of its time. You could build a map on GameCube.
On GameCube?
Yeah. Dude,
Forge
me and
mode.
one of my
Forge
friends
mode, yeah.
would play this game like because it's so like out there. It's kind of like BioShock vibes where it's like steampunk-ish kind of like it's hard to conceptualize Time Splitters if you've not played it, but it's a good time. And yes, I do vividly remember using any of those guns really in the arcade, and they always had like they were sticky or slimy and shit. There was always I always felt like there was a pandemic coming after I held those things.
Yeah,
you knew.
I knew. I could tell before.
Well, listen, remember when I mentioned the Denny's arcade? Yeah.
Street Fighter, yeah.
Top tier.
Street Fighter. I'm pretty sure there was a Time Splitter game in there or something related, something like Time Splitter.
Bro got mono from it.
Yeah, no, I don't get sick anymore. My immune system is just so strong now.
from the Denny's arcade.
From enduring that. Yeah, going to Denny's arcade and going to Tunnels of Fun as a kid, like I cannot die.
Staph infection? What are you?
Fun, yeah. Yeah, those are the other weapons that were non this next topic related for me.
All right, let them cook. Unleash the hounds.
I ain't cooking. Ooh, the hounds. That's a good.
Thank you for watching another episode. Oh, he is cooking.
I gotta heat up the stove. You gotta set the timer so I don't burn the apartment down. Yeah, like I'm like an hibachi chef now. I'm gonna start banging the spatula.
This is an audio medium.
Bro,
you're tapping on your microphone arm.
It always takes like an Asian turn every episode. He's just now he's talking about hibachi in front of us.
Listen, I respect the Asian way.
You really want to say I respect
it.
your culture? I know it. No. I'm kidding. I did like that Assassin's Creed with the Native American. That one was the one with the axes, right?
John.
Yeah,
Mr. John. Yeah, I felt seen. The 1/16th of me felt seen in that game. All right. So it wouldn't be a video game weapons episode if I didn't just gush over Halo. Duh. I mean, he's watching me right there. He's like, you got to talk about my guns.
I need a weapon.
He literally said, "Yeah, I need a weapon." And he had a lot. He had a lot of weapons. He had a lot of weapons to choose from. So I have a list here, and I'm not going to spend too much time talking about each of these because we'd be here for another 2 hours. But I think honestly, the most iconic gun in all of Halo is probably the Needler.
Not what I thought you were going to say. Okay, because it's recognizable for sure.
It's so Halo. It's just like
it's so Halo.
You see it, and you're like, "That's the Needler from Halo." Like I could show my dad, and he'd be like, "That's the Needler from Halo."
Let's test that theory.
I'll send him a picture. No, but like it's purple. It's got the needles coming out. Using it. It's one of the most unique guns to use in all of gaming. You get that super. At it. The needles track. You get that super combine after a certain number, and then it just combusts. And such a satisfying gun to use, and the sound design is always great for the Needler. It's evolved over. Yeah, it's evolved over the years in different ways, but just when you get that super combine and just like hearing those needles just like explode is just, it's awesome. Then you see a pink mist in the aftermath. Anyway, yeah, the Needler. What you thought I was probably going to say originally was the Magnum from Halo 1.
Interestingly, still not what I thought you were going to
man.
say.
Okay.
It is. No, yeah, you go first. You go first.
Well, it's the most notorious gun in any Halo game. Like, notoriously overpowered. Back when there was no balancing in games. Like, they would release, and then that was it. This is how the game's going to play.
Is that just like the OG pistol?
Yeah, it's the OG Halo 1 3-shot headshot pistol.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's hand cannon.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Gnasher in Gears. Like, you would spawn, and then you would just switch to your pistol every time. Like, Halo 1 was all just pistol battles with rockets and snipers mixed in occasionally and grenades. And that was about it.
The assault rifle did not matter at all. It was only there for character design, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Well,
Halo 1.
Yeah, the Halo 1 Magnum, just outrageously overpowered, but iconic because of that, but also just another gun you look at and you're like, oh, that's the Magnum from Halo. Has a very iconic silhouette. Another iconic silhouette is the original Halo assault rifle, just like the OG M480, I think. Connor's not going to be happy with me when he hears this, if that's wrong. But just like the basic assault rifle from Halo 1, it's kind of evolved a little bit over the course of the Halo games, but just like the aesthetic of the original assault rifle, iconic.
The MA5B.
Yeah, that's it. God damn it.
I looked it up for you. I didn't know it off the top of my head. I forgot about that little display on the back of it.
Yeah, the whatever. Yeah, the thing, the display,
yeah.
the bullet,
whatever
display.
The fuck was on that little display.
An iconic display. Yeah,
it was number of bullets in your magazine. I remember staring at that shit for hours.
Yeah, little triangle
running across like big
blue
maps. Like,
yeah, just
the only thing I can look at.
Just a very good aesthetic. Another gun in the Halo franchise that I love is the battle rifle.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, this is the gun.
Period.
This is the gun. Probably the most popular weapon in all of Halo. It was introduced in Halo 2 and has since then been a staple in every Halo game since, besides Reach. But yeah, this thing, it's a burst assault rifle, like the R301 in the sense that it's useful in any scenario, far range, mid range, even up close if you're good at hitting your shots. Basically just 3 body shots and a headshot gets the job done. Yeah, and just the sound, like the burst sound is just, especially in Halo 2. Like the Halo 2,
I was gonna say the same thing, dude. It's like rough and rugged in Halo 2.
It's like it's music to my ears. The shooting sound in Halo 2 on the original battle rifle, just
dude, battle rifle on
Chef's
Beaver
kiss.
Creek, dude.
Beaver Creek, burial mounds, coagulation. It was a crime whenever, like when the game first released, that you would spawn with an SMG as your starting weapon and a terrible pistol. And it was just like, it was always just a race to find the battle rifle on the larger maps. Like, yeah, battle rifle is still awesome.
I do kind of miss that about games now, is like power weapons on a map. Like Gears was the same way, right? Like you would race and like there would be a fight for the power weapons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's like really, it's kind of a dated like system, but I don't know. It was fun. You know, nowadays, you know, obviously like it's more like loadout specific, but you know, just picking up a good gun off the ground was fun.
That's why Halo's so iconic. Like that's why competitive Halo just works so well, because it's always had that aspect. Like it's just about map control. Who can get the power weapons first? Who could time? Who knows the spawning of the power weapons? Which in the earlier games, when there wasn't a timer on the map to tell you, was a skill you had to learn and perfect. But yeah, battle rifle. It's probably my favorite gun in any game.
Ooh, Ooh,
in any game ever. Like, yeah.
interesting.
If I had to use one weapon from any game, it'd be the battle rifle. Continuing on, the gravity hammer, introduced in Halo 3 for obvious reasons. There's not really a gun like it in other games. It's just a lot of fun to use, especially in Halo 3 when it had the physics. You could jump and swing the hammer, look down, swing the hammer, and you would get basically a double jump. Use that a lot to like get outside the map, get high ground, or like if you just had a vehicle coming at you, you would just swing the hammer and it would just send it flying. It was like
that's what she said.
What does that mean? Where'd you get that?
I don't know.
Right?
Just
Get your mind out of the gutter.
somebody in chat said it, not me.
Oh wow.
We gotta turn
Thanks,
that
chat.
chat off. Fuck them people.
It's just us in Discord, like this fucking guy, dude.
We're just making up chat. There's no one listening. There's no one speaking to us. Yeah, the gravity hammer, iconic. Another iconic melee weapon, the energy sword.
That's the one I thought you were gonna go for.
Ooh,
Man.
okay. It is up there. It's definitely up there, but I don't know.
I think I was gauging it more on if you showed a picture of this to some random person, like would they be able to match it to the game?
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
I feel like Energy Sword has a lot higher chance of success than the Magnum.
Oh, I think
Though
I
I
think
like the
definitely.
Magnum infinitely better than the sword.
Yeah, the sword's always been OP, especially in Halo 2, where you could literally like cross map somebody. It was a very generous lunge in Halo 2. But my favorite use of the sword in Halo 2 was the sword canceling, and you were able to break out of so many maps using that gimmick. Chris, I don't know if you know what sword canceling is, but basically,
No.
when your reticule's red on an enemy player, you lunge at them. If you pressed X at the right time, or if you held, I forget if it was holding X while you're lunging, or if you pressed it right when you're about to hit them, it would cancel the collision and the kill, and you could basically use them to catapult yourself further. You would zoom past them.
So basically, the tracking still works, and you're still seeking them. But since you don't have a weapon, the game's just like, all right, I'm just let you keep going.
Yeah,
But there had to be an enemy there in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there'd be like a thing, like if you're trying to get out of like, I don't know, I think burial mounds was a popular one to get out of. Also, Ivory Tower was also a popular one to try to get out of. But yeah, you would just have like your friends sitting there. They would like jump, and then you would track them, and then just like lunge and just break the game. So
that was a thing. I feel like in Call of Duty, there was a lot of ways to get under the maps and shit. And like, I guess game development wasn't quite neat and tidy as it is now. I mean, people still get under the maps, but not nearly.
Dude, it was so awesome.
And it's also like it gets fixed much faster. I mean, I remember like those would be like months on end where like shit just wouldn't be patched.
Yeah, and this was back when they didn't patch the OG Halo 2. So that was the thing for a long time. All right, I'm gonna run through these a little faster. The plasma grenade, sticky grenade, yeah, iconic. Dual
All of my grenade. Never mind.
The dual SMGs from Halo 2, because I'll never forget the first time I saw like the E3 demo from 2002 or whatever, 2003. The first time they picked up that second SMG, my mind was melted. I was like, what?
And
like,
it's on the Halo 2 cover too. They're like hamming it up real good. They're like, look what we let you do this time. Y'all.
So cool. The bullet hoses just sounded so satisfying to use. Nowadays it's like, oh, you could dual wield a gun. That's why was that so exciting? But back in the day, that shit was the badass, like the most badass shit I've ever seen. It was so sick. The Spartan laser, a controversial weapon in Halo history. I personally am not a fan of this weapon, but I can't deny how cool it is. And I can't deny that it's satisfying to use, but it did really made vehicle gameplay in Halo 3 not fun.
Yeah. It's getting lasered across Sand Trap.
It was pretty easy to use. It had a charge up time. It was hard to use against enemies, like on foot, but against vehicles, it was pretty easy. Especially if you had like a good hiding spot and they didn't know you were there. Let's see. And then I'm gonna throw an infinite one in there. It's probably not, it hasn't been out long enough to be called iconic, but I love the Skewer. The Skewer is so sick.
Yes.
The Skewer is awesome. And this is the Spartan, this is what the Spartan laser should have been. Or like, this is a better version of that gun.
The Skewer is, in my opinion, the best feeling gun in Halo Infinite. Like,
it's so cool.
It's the most rewarding feeling when you get a kill with it.
Yes, it is. From somebody that does not play Halo, really, I will admit, like, when I think of Infinite, the Skewer is like the most satisfying part to me. It is, I think too, like, when we talk about weapons, like, I think looking at the aesthetics is important too. And I think like just the look of the Skewer is pretty unique.
It's very
I don't know. There's
brutish.
a lot of different kinds of weapons in games, but that one, that is a very unique idea, and it plays well in the game, and it's so damn big, dude.
Yeah, it's balanced. It's so balanced. Like, it takes skill to use, but when you hit your shots, it's kind of like the Kraber, but a little not as difficult. But when you hit your shots on a vehicle, or if you lead your shots on a Banshee that's flying by and you hit it, it's like, oh man, I earned that shit.
Yeah.
And that a gun like that makes me sad that the newer Halos are rated T for teen, because man, if that gun was in Gears of War, could you imagine the gore that would ensue whenever you use that gun? Like, people would be skewed up against walls with just like blood everywhere and their guts just like dangling.
Oh
yeah, you get that. It's a visceral image.
Halo is very like there's like no gore. It's just the ragdoll.
There's blood. Hilarious. Well, there was blood. Actually, I think they got rid of blood, but there used to be blood. So yeah, in regards to Halo weapons, I mean, there's more. I could list a lot more, but those are the ones that stand out to me, and that are my personal favorites.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair list.
Yeah. Cool. I don't have anything really of note else to bring up.
Did you have
the rest
any
of the bullshit that I have is just kind of random?
Chris, did you have anyone to shout out last minute? Just like run through.
Just the last two, I would say these are 007 or James Bond weapons. So again, I'm dating myself to an N64 game and PS2 games, because they haven't made those games in quite a while. But the Golden Gun, it is exactly what it says. It's a golden gun. I guess the power behind it is it's a one-shot kill, and has a very limited mag. It also looks ridiculously weird for being like just a normal like bullet firing weapon. I don't even know how to explain it. It looks strange, but it's fun in that regard. It's a one shot, and when you play like in those games, there's a lot of like split screen stuff you were doing, so it was a race to get the power weapon, which in that case was the Golden Gun, and then. The other iconic, and there's like a novelty factor to this one, James Bond weapon would be, there's a character named Odd Job, and he's basically like an assassin, and he has a top hat that he throws like a frisbee, and it is a lethal weapon.
Ryan, you'd be so good at that, dude. Are you kidding me?
I would give that thing so much hyzer. It would go to flat.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
No, you remember what we learned this weekend, man? They're understable. Those things will turn over on you.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, I don't know who the hell came up with that, but it's actually hilarious. And it's funny because James Bond films are, I'm not saying they're serious, but like that doesn't seem like it would be in a James Bond film, but it actually works well. So it did make its way into a few of the games. Again, as like a novelty weapon, but those would be the last two that I would say for iconic weapons. Some of them I think we had are a little bit more niche, but I think we did hit quite a few mainstream that hopefully, you guys as the viewers and the audience can resonate with. But I'd be interested to hear what everyone else thinks, like in the comments and whatnot. What are some weapons did we miss, or did we over select any? You know, did we give some of them?
Don't look at me like that.
Too many props.
I've got one more I want to shout out really quick before we start. The Titanfall smart pistol. Listen, I don't cheat in video games, but when I pick up that smart pistol, I've got aimbot. I've got aimbot.
Okay.
That thing is so cool. It just auto. It's like you're. I don't know. You feel like Iron Man when you have that thing. Like you're Tony Stark and what's his name? The robot or the AI is auto targeting people's heads for you, and you just got to pull the trigger. It's the easiest gun to use. You just got to look at them, and it just like, oh, headshot.
Oh, isn't that the RE45 in Apex? It's like
no.
That's I think that was the inspiration, wasn't it?
Well, they actually, funny enough, they actually added. There was a character that came on Apex, and one of his ults is the smart pistol. Or
okay,
I think.
I thought that was like the inspiration because a lot of the Titanfall guns became Apex weapons, just different names and whatnot. But
yeah, I think the RE was actually in Titanfall.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, the smart pistol. I had to shout that out before we stopped here.
Smart guy.
Smart guy, smart pistol.
Smart guys use smart pistols.
That's what I.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
You gotta tell me what that means.
All right, we'll do it after the record. But yeah, we've spent years. Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't say decades, but we've spent years looking down the sights of some of these guns. So maybe you can put us in your sights on YouTube, and like Chris was saying, let us know your favorite or most iconic weapons video games. Like we've definitely missed some.
Oh yeah,
and I'm pretty sure I've put some weapons on a pedestal that do not belong there. So if you have any choice words for me or the boys, you can leave them on YouTube, or you can look us up on Instagram at 5 o'clock sweats. We are also on X at 5 o'clock sweats. You can get us in audio form on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever y'all get y'all's podcasts. Anything else?
It just felt good to have the gang back together.
Yeah, now that Derick and I stopped feuding, we can finally record together again.
You finally paid him back all that money you owed him.
Yeah,
he was about to get his goons
we
on
were
you.
doing a long a fucking 1v1, but no one could hit each other just off the back of the other thing. So it's literally been 5 weeks. We just settled it yesterday.
Well, because I feel like two of us have been able, like, it'll be like Ryan and I are like, okay, yeah, we can do this day at this time, and then whatever you can, or like vice versa, I can't. But I think it's been good though, because we've explored some maybe different topics that all three of us would not necessarily, dive into. But the plan is obviously to keep the band together. So yeah, it's been good to be back, all three of us. So you want to break us down here?
Yeah, I mean, we've done our normal stuff, right?
He kind of did.
What if we, you know the thing we always do, right?
Yeah,
break it down.
The thing we do all the time.
Wait, no, isn't it like go team go?
I gotta switch. I gotta stretch my finger.
It's like
my pointer finger.
No, isn't it like good game, and then you smack Ryan? Good game.
Yeah, smack my ass.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
And
like to.
As always,
stay sweaty.
Stay sweaty.
All right, now you, Chris. Try it.
Whoa,
what?
Man, what the fuck? Why would you assume he knows Japanese, dude? What the hell?
Isn't it that like ooh woo?
What was that? Chris watched 5 minutes of one anime and was like, okay, that's what happens. Wait,
huh?